It's hard to believe that the band Aerosmith has been around for 50 years. In this video, I'm going to talk about the self-titled debut album by Aerosmith, which was released on January 5th, 1973, and it's celebrating 50 years. I will talk a little bit about the history behind the band, and I'll talk about the songs. I'll give some interesting facts about the songs, and I'll give you my opinions on my favorites. I'll talk about their big hit Dream On in particular. So let's talk a little bit about this album. It was released on Columbia Records. The big hit Dream On was a single in 1973, but it didn't become a big top 10 hit until 1975 when it was re-released. And this album didn't really do very well at first. But years later, in 1976, it peaked at number 21 on the US Billboard 200. One of the reasons this album didn't do very well at first was because Columbia released it the same day as Bruce Springsteen's debut album, and Columbia put more promotion into Bruce's album. So for that reason, it didn't do well at first. But when it did come out, a lot of critics didn't like it, and they kind of compared them to either like the Rolling Stones or the New York Dolls. So this album has 8 tracks. It's about 35 minutes long, 4 songs on each side. The opening track, Make It was written by Steven Tyler. He wrote the song in the car driving from New Hampshire to Boston, and he's thinking about the future of the band and what would be a good song, for example, like if they ever opened for the Rolling Stones. And that was the inspiration for the song. The drumming really stands out in the song. I really like the drum fills that are in the opening part of the song. These come right after the guitar riff. I also think the guitar sounds very good. Has a very dirty, distorted tone to it. I think this is a classic example of hard rock, like right in the middle between classic rock and heavy metal. The song Somebody was also written by Steven Tyler, but the inspiration from this came from a guitar riff that one of the roadies used to play, so Steven based his song about that. When I hear this song, the first thing I think of is classic blues rock. This is the kind of song you can sing along to while driving in your car. It has that kind of feel to it. The song has a jam session feel to it, and especially the part when Joe Perry kind of plays this guitar solo and Steven Tyler sings along with the melody. Track 3 is the big song Dream On. Like I was saying before, it wasn't a hit at first, but it probably ended up becoming one of their signature songs. Steven Tyler wrote the song on a piano in his basement that originally belonged to his father. At first, it only charted at number 59 in the US. Then the song, charted higher a lot later. This song is about how everybody gets older and one day, like as they say in the lyrics, the good Lord's going to take us away. This is one of the songs that I've heard hundreds of times, but I never get bored of it. It's a song that really impresses me, especially the vocals towards the end of the song when Steven Tyler does this vocal run, which I really doubt the average singer could match it. And also the fact that it was written on a piano and then transcribed to be played on guitar makes the song sound very original. The last song on side 1 is called One Way Street. This was inspired by a woman that Steven Tyler was dating at the time. She had a kid. She would always bring him and put him in a crib, and that inspired the lyrics. Also influenced by the Rolling Stones. So on the song you can hear like the difference between some of the other ones, where this is less of a hard rock song and more of like a tribute to the Rolling Stones. It's a good song for fans of classic rock. It has a nice hard driving rhythm and a bouncy feel to it. On the song, the guitar tone is cleaner and the bass guitar pops out a little more. The song also kind of sounds like a jam session. You get like a few harmonica solos in the song and a few parts where it's just instrumental. Now on side 2 of the album, we have Mama Kin. Now I remember this one very well. I think Guns N' Roses covered it on one of their EPs, like before or around the time they released the Appetite for Destruction. The idea behind Mama Kin is something Steven Tyler came up with as this type of creative force that helps you in life when you want to do something better. This song is a perfect blend of hard rock and blues rock. The distorted tone of the guitar gives it a harder edge than some of the other songs. The song fills the listener with energy upon listening to it. One thing I like about the song is that they alternate the vocals with the lyrics, so you can enjoy both the guitar riffs and the vocals. Second track on side 2 is called Write Me a Letter. This was written by Steven Tyler, and it's just straightforward rock and roll. It's also a blues jam, and Steven Tyler wrote lyrics about a letter from a lover he is like waiting to receive. The song is more of a classic rock song with heavy blues rock influence. The overall tone of the song is more relaxing than some of the others. The rhythm is a little more subdued, and another one of those songs with a harmonica solo. Next song is called Moving Out, and this is the first time that Steven Tyler and Joe Perry co-wrote a song. It's track number 3 on side 2 and based on the guitar riff that was written by Steve Perry. The song has more of a stripped down feel to it. Steven Tyler uses a classic blues style in his vocals. It's a song with some memorable guitar licks. I can also hear a Led Zeppelin influence in this one. They also add a little bit of heaviness, but at the core it's a blues rock song. Another thing the song has is like this southern like foot stomping quality to it. The final song on the album is called Walkin the Dog, and it's a cover song originally by the blues artist Rufus Thomas Jr., originally released in 1963. One of those songs that have been covered by different bands over the years, including the Rolling Stones, Rat, Green Day. There have been many interpretations of what Walkin the Dog is. I guess the cleanest version of this would be like the yo-yo trick, but you can imagine some of the others. Even though it's a blues song, it has a little bit of like psychedelia in it as well. You can kind of hear it distinctly. So the song has a really nice groove. The guitar riffs stand out very well in the song. They use a distorted guitar tone, and that gives it a little bit of heaviness. So let me wrap this up. So this is one of my favorite Aerosmith albums. I think like the ones that came out right after this one, like Get Your Wings, Toys in the Attic, Rocks. Those are my favorites, but this one's up there. One of those bands that they were really great in the 70s, and then they kind of started going downhill, like in the 80s. I think, for me, the exception would be Pump. I really like that album, but the early albums will always be their classics. That's why I wanted to do this video and talk about this album celebrating 50th anniversary. That is all. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. See you in the next one.